Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be making New Orleans style gumbo. This is going to be a seafood gumbo with sausage and chicken. So sit back and enjoy the video. Alright guys, so right now I am going to start off by making a roux. To make a roux, you're going to use equal parts flour and oil. I used vegetable oil and all-purpose flour. We're going to add the flour to the pan and add the oil. You're going to turn your stove to low, medium, and you're going to begin stirring. Alright guys, so while our roux is doing its thing, we're gonna go ahead and start chopping our seasonings. So the 3 seasonings that I like to use are celery, green bell peppers, and onions. And we call this a holy trinity because the flavors just go so well together. We're going to chop our celery, but make sure that you continue to keep your eye on your roux. We do not want it to burn because if it burns, we'll have to start all over from scratch. So once I'm done cutting my celery, I'm going to go ahead and cut my bell pepper. I like to cut the top and the bottom off first, and then I'll go ahead and de-seed the bell pepper and chop it. Now, while you're cutting your seasonings, you still want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on your roux. Again, like I said, we don't want our roux to burn. We want to make sure that we're stirring it so that way the flour and the oil keeps its consistency. And once I'm done chopping my bell peppers, I'm going to go ahead and start chopping my onions. Alright guys, so right now I am cutting my onions, and while I'm cutting my onions, I'm still going to make sure that I am stirring my roux. As you can see that it is starting to turn colors, so I want to make sure that I continue to stir that. And also I turn my burner down just a little bit. I think my fire was a little too high. It wasn't starting to burn, but again, I'm very panicky when it comes to making a roux, because again, if you mess up, you do have to start all over. There is no such thing as saving roux once it's burned. Alright guys, so you're going to continue to stir your roux, and as you can see, it's starting to become a little bit darker. In the pan to the far right, I have some chicken that's browning. The only thing that's in the pan is the chicken. I've added some seasonings and a little bit of chicken broth so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. But other than that, we just want to brown the chicken. We don't really want to cook the chicken. Sometimes I will boil the chicken, and other times I will use like chicken breast and boil it and then shred it. It really just depends on your preferences. But for this time around, I am just using some wingettes. Alright guys, so we're still stirring our roux, and as you can tell from this clip to the next clip, the color is changing and it is getting darker. So you want to keep stirring this until it becomes a chocolate brown. Now I did have to make another batch of roux because I did not wait until my roux was dark enough before I started adding my seasonings and my broth. So this is the first batch that I made. I am going to add the seasonings in it, and once those have sauteed down for about 8 to 10 minutes, I am going to go ahead and transfer this into my stock pot. Now this is the second batch of roux that I have made, and as you can tell, the color is a little bit more darker, and this is the color that you want it to be. And if you would like, you probably can go a little bit darker. My biggest fear is it burning, and I'm going to constantly repeat that throughout my video. But once you get the roux to the color that you want, you're gonna go ahead and add your seasonings, and you want to make sure that you are still stirring it when you're adding your seasonings, because it still has the possibility of burning. So you want to make sure that you are keeping an eye on your roux. This is the base of your gumbo. This is the base of a lot of soups. It's the base of a lot of dishes. So you want to make sure that you are keeping an eye on it. A lot of Creole and Cajun dishes require a roux. So if you aren't sure how to make a roux, you can always use boxed roux. You can always use store-bought roux. You don't have to make a roux. They sell them already pre-made. So it's really up to you. Right now I am taking out chunks of onion that I did not cut up fine enough. So yeah. All right, so once your Holy Trinity has kind of combined together into one and all the flavors have begun to mesh together, we're going to go ahead and add a tablespoon of garlic, and we're going to let that cook down for a few minutes until you start to smell that everything has come together as one. Once the seasonings have all mixed together, then we're gonna add this combination to our stock pot. Alright, so right now I am adding my roux mixture to my stock pot. I'm going to go ahead and add 8 cups of chicken stock. If I'm not mistaken, I purchased chicken broth, but chicken stock, seafood stock are pretty much what you're going to use for this dish. I like to add seafood stock, but my Walmart was out. Sometimes you can take the shrimp heads and boil them and make your own stock. Again, it's really up to you and how you want to go about adding the liquids to make your gumbo. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and add the chicken into the stock. And once we add our chicken in, we're gonna go ahead and add our blue crabs into our stock as well. Once we add the blue crabs, we're gonna go ahead and let this boil for about 5 minutes. And while this is boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my sausage. I'm going to cook that into my skillet for a few minutes, and once those have browned, I'm going to add it to my stock. After I add my sausage, I'm going to go ahead and add my shrimp. I purchased already headless and deshelled shrimp to make my life easier, but again, you can do whatever works for you. Alright guys, thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed. This was my take on New Orleans style gumbo, and I hope this video was very informative. If you would like, you can follow my cooking blog at nevercookwithoutwine.food.blog. Thank you for watching. Bye.